Evening and welcome once again to Gaming Under the Influence. I'm Mike here with Alex, coming in from GreenDragonCVR in Woodbridge to talk about video games. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm great. I'm barreling towards the end of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And
bet you're happy about that.
I'm hoping it's coming soon, yeah? Yeah. I'm a bit
It's a
tired.
big game, eh?
It is. How about you, man?
I'm doing good. What am I doing? I'm playing everything. Rise of the Ronin, Dragon's Dogma 2. I've been like dabbling here and there, doing what I do.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Dabbling, it's like a nice spectrum you can experience at once.
I'll land on something at some point. And I have to get back into Final Fantasy VII, to be honest. These games kind of caught me by surprise, and I didn't plan out for it. So here we are.
I need to get out of it, but
yeah.
One thing that I thought that would be interesting to discuss today, and I'm not sure if enough attention has been called to this fact, but the mass of layoffs in the video game industry 2023 and 2024. It's been the talk of the town.
Yep.
Recent weeks, especially since Kotaku seems to be giving most of its editors the boot. So here's to that. But one thing I don't see enough people talking about is that the layoffs are quite literally an exclusively Western problem.
Yeah, it's hilarious that
Anybody notice that?
We've been talking about that and kind of throwing it around for the last little while. And then we decided to check our sources and do our homework and make sure that this is not just us talking from our asses, but it's true.
No, it's true.
It's true. We did it. And everything we saw pretty much confirms the fact that all the layoffs that are happening are...
They have quite literally been at Western studios.
This side of the world.
All 18,000 employees from the video game industry 2023 to this point in 2024 have been laid off from Western studios.
Yep.
This is not unexpected, I guess.
Yeah.
Given the subject matter of our
not a coincidence.
Couple of videos before this one, we talked about, Sweet Baby and the social and ideological and economic circumstances contributing to the ruination of games in the West.
Yep.
Most importantly, their instrumentalization to, profit seeking and just banal political aims.
Yep.
That's really what it is. And I think that those factors have been borne out in masses of layoffs, and
we're seeing the opposite fruits of that labor there. The anti-fruits. You want to call the anti-fruit of that whatever. I don't even know what to say anymore.
A lot of these companies made a lot of bad games that anybody could have told them were bad well before they made them.
Yep.
For exactly the reasons anybody would have expected. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, and so will anybody else. And here we are. They're getting fired, the games are burning, and everybody's somehow sitting there not calling out that fact. It's very strange.
It's true. People are definitely condemning the industry and blabbing about it, but no one seems to be looking towards the other direction.
For the causes of the thing, even.
Yeah, there's a whole other world out there that is not doing things the same way.
That's the funny part.
It's crazy.
I think though, man, it's just for the same reason somebody would, want to proceed with this dogmatic vision of diversity wherein everybody has to be included in everything.
Yeah.
Their underlying supposition is that the differences between us are false and that radical sameness is the name of the game. Yeah. And I think the same thing is at work here. People, even in the way that they talk about this, it's like layoffs are battering the video game industry. No, they're not. They're battering terrible Western video game studios.
Exactly.
And I think what you're alluding to is the fact that while all of this is happening, Japanese studios are flourishing. Not even Japanese, Eastern studios.
Yep.
They're flourishing and even hiring people.
Yes.
It's remarkable.
Yes.
I didn't know how profoundly contrary the situations were until we sat down to do this.
Exactly. We knew that things were bad on this side, for sure, no doubt. Like layoffs, we've been hearing about it. Like it's been happening, but we didn't know that on the other side, there's a whole list of some of our favorite developers that are actually gearing up.
And honestly, I think I'm comfortable saying only bad developers are laying people off. Trash developers who make trash games. It makes sense that you'd see them laying people off.
Yep.
How about we take a look at the studios in the East that we've lauded in recent months that are hiring and financially doing well, before we compare them to the companies in the West.
Oh yeah.
Incidentally, we've talked a lot of about them,
we have,
that are firing people and doing terribly.
Yep. If you go back and look at some of our videos, you could probably say we're like weebs who just like Japan, but now we're just stating the facts at this point, and it really is just in line with what we've kind of been drumming up for the last little while. This was gonna happen. It was gonna happen. You're seeing this happen in the industry now.
This is why
the West is tanking, man.
They are tanking.
AAA is going to absolute crap. It's
to to demonstrate how severely, this headline, layoffs batter the industry or what have you, reflects that universalist mindset of the West. They literally can't imagine that anything outside of their way of life and view of things could be different. This is the Kojima Productions careers page. Large-scale staff recruitment. Kojima Productions is mass hiring, both domestically and internationally, for high-quality game development. Great.
Well, there you have it. Taken from their website today.
On to other ones. Amidst industry-wide layoffs, Capcom is increasing starting salary in Japan by more than 25%.
Wow.
Fantastic.
That's epic.
What else do we have going on? As layoffs batter the industry, From Software boss Hidetaka Miyazaki says now is the time for us to continue to grow and continue to cultivate this talent. The article discusses how they're expanding production, and he's going to delegate more directorial work to other people within the studio, like they did with Armored Core 4 or Armored Core 6, for example. Yeah.
Right on. Wow. So it's almost like the successful games these guys have been releasing in the last couple of years have contributed to prosperity and growth.
It's almost like that. Remember Liza P, which we raved about for a few months?
Great
Liza
game.
P sold over 1 million copies, and that was as of October last year. This is despite the fact that it came out on Game Pass.
Oh, so it's definitely
at the same time.
Oh, wow. Even on Game Pass for free
on Game
for all the
Pass.
X-Boys. Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
man. That was 7 months ago. Only a couple of months after it came out. So I don't doubt that it could have doubled by now.
Yeah, probably.
Amidst all of this, we can go to the developer's website, and it looks like they're hiring too. There's 29 job applications that I can make out with Google Translate, and I'm sure there's a number more buried in the headers that I can't.
Fair enough.
So
Korea is the next up and coming video game hotspot, maybe for AA, AAA style games.
That's right.
Epic. That's pretty sick.
Unburdened by the conventions and structures of the West.
Yeah.
So now let's take a look at what's going on this side.
This is important.
Who exactly is laying people off? Let's take a look. Well, first is Unity Technologies. I don't think that's quite as pertinent, though I know for a fact that
they had big controversy over the changes that they probably backed out of now at this point anyway.
Yeah. But this is where it gets most interesting.
Spicy.
Next on the list is Microsoft with 1,995 layoffs. So,
wow.
I mean,
so people are championing them for buying a bunch of companies and now subsequently having to lay off
fire 2,000 people.
Because
I hate to say I told you so, but how many times have we called that? What have these people made? What are they hired for?
What are you buying?
I don't know.
A name?
Me, it was Starfield, and I wish I could walk that back, but here we are. The problem, I think, though, is that anyways, let's go through a few more of these before we get to what we think the problem is. There's Microsoft with 2,000 layoffs, EA with 1,500, Sony Interactive Entertainment in the West with 1,000, Epic Games 830, Riot Games 530, Twitch 500, Niantic, who make Pokemon Go, 230, Ubisoft 178, even Discord is laying people off.
What?
There's all kinds of, even CD Projekt has laid off 100 people. NCSoft West, Sega of America.
That's a good one. That's
just a good one. The layoffs, actually, that was
very telling.
I'm pretty sure that was an exhaustive list on Wikipedia, well cited there.
Yeah.
If I've missed any, feel free to include them in the comments. But
I'm sure there are more.
The point is that it is quite literally an exclusively Western problem, these layoffs. And while they're happening, while Western studios are being cannibalized by their own total deficit of artistic integrity and their commitment to business practices that instrumentalize art for profit, Eastern studios that don't do either of those things are flourishing. They're hiring people en masse, according to their own websites. They're paying them more than they were a few months ago. It's incredible.
It's pretty ironic.
It's incredible. I think it's incredible that apart from all of our preferences, it's incredible that they're not just our preferences. That's what's incredible. That other people reflect this with their purchases, and
that's the thing. The underlying thing that's going on is what is actually happening is the effect of these games coming out, right? And it's so easy for us over the last couple of years to sit here and just on games coming out of the West, but really they do suck, and you're seeing the ugly side of that now is that the companies are kind of scrounging and trying to figure out what they're doing, whereas in Japan and Korea, up and coming, they're expanding, they're gearing up to keep going the course and making bigger and better games. And
Man.
I assume
That's right.
keep it up.
It is. And, we didn't even mention the fact that those are the studios that laid people off. A number of them closed down. Remember Volition and the dumpy Saints Row remake?
But again, yeah, rightfully so. I almost called that studio closing just from that trailer.
Dude,
like,
who did it? Who watched that and was like, this looks great?
Great, yeah, I'll tell you who.
Well, I'll tell you who, too. I think to speak, though, to the causes, what I think are the causes of the layoffs in the West and the expansion and success in Japan and Korea, I wouldn't in the first place attribute it to that underlying view of society and reality and everything else that we talked about in the Sweet Baby Inc. video, right?
Yep.
In the West, we believe that everything's reducible to this fundamental underlying sameness, both human difference, but also the difference between leisure and work and art and utility. Everything that we make, it has to be in the first place for serving our social and financial concerns. Its status as an artwork is secondary, if you even believe it has such a thing.
Yeah.
Don't take it from me, though. I'll have Phil Spencer explain it for us. I'll say, to quote him, "The thing that has me most concerned for the industry is a lack of growth. When you have an industry that is projected to be smaller next year, I don't know by who, in terms of players and dollars, and you get a lot of publicly traded companies that are in the industry that have to show their investors growth, because, and this is the important part, why else does somebody own a share of someone's stock if not to grow? That side of the business then gets scrutinized. Because if you're not going to grow the revenue side, then the cost side becomes challenged. We're a business. I said over and over, I don't have any luxury of not having to run a profitable, growing business inside of Microsoft. No doubt you don't, but perhaps regarding every game as nothing but a tool for achieving that goal is what got you here. I think that you can't imagine something that stands on its own, that exists for its own sake in that environment, in that space of meaning.
No.
It's not possible.
No.
That's why the layoffs are an exclusively Western problem, and as for me, I can't say that I'm disappointed,
It is what it is, man. If they made better games, maybe they wouldn't be in this position,
Yeah,
but
they wouldn't.
the games suck.
That's right.
Hopefully they can pick up and move on from here, and maybe it doesn't seem that way.
Get a real job.
Not even
or just leave everybody alone.
Yeah.
Go away.
Fair enough.
As you would have wished me, right?
Yeah.
Thank you guys very much for listening, and take care of yourselves.
Oh, yeah.